Right now we're going to talk about how to champion your champion. We've split it up into 3 different sales stages to make it easy and digestible. So the first one is post-discovery. Typically your champion says, let me connect internally. Second part is deal progression. How do you keep momentum when new stakeholders are introduced? And lastly, presenting the business case. So when you finally have to take everything that you've worked on and put together with your champion, how do you present that to finance, to the CFO, to legal, to everyone involved? Starting with post-discovery, very, very common in the sales process to get the, well, this sounds great, let me connect internally. So before we even get there, you should be making sure that you actually have a champion, right? You should be finding out a little bit about their purchase history. Have they been successful implementing things, right? Their reputation in their purchasing history goes a long way with the CFO. Before you start scheduling next steps and talking about introducing additional stakeholders, make sure that the person you're speaking with is actually sold on your product or service. And you can ask that by simply being very direct. Hey, before we move forward here and talk about scheduling next steps, how do you feel about how my solution, product, service can solve insert pain point, right? Once you have that, you want to make sure to summarize the pain points or the key discussion points that you addressed during your first conversation. Even better, I put those inside of an aligned room, make it easy for them, one place with all of your resources. And then I record a short video addressing how my product or service can actually solve those 2, 3, 4 different pain points that we discussed.
All right, so the next part of this conversation we're gonna talk through is about deal progression. We, of course, wanna start with one champion, but what might happen is we might start to evolve and have multiple champions within the deal. In an ideal world, that champion would stay with us through the entire sales journey, but realistically, depending on their title, they might not be able to. So my recommendation is, making sure, first and foremost, like we said in the last clip, that you do have a key champion identified. And then from there, ensuring that you're giving, smaller, digestible updates throughout the deal process. So if they make an introduction to someone on another team internally, a great thing to do is, of course, thank them for the introduction. But then after that, make sure you're circling back. Hey, when we had that conversation, I really appreciated the introduction. And here are the 3 key takeaways I had from that. Here's what's next in the process. Using a room through Aligned is a great way to do that too, where you have this ability to log all of your documentation and notes and everything in one central repository. So that champion can always stay abreast to everything that's going on in the conversation without physically having to be there.
So when we get to that final stage where we're going to that exact buyer, what I would be doing is building out a 1 to 2 page business case. And what that looks like is summarizing in short form basically what that product's gonna do, the potential return for the team, and then how it's gonna help the team going forward. Also outlining what that contract will look like so everyone understands once it gets to that CFO, that CEO, whoever's signing, basically them going through the 1 to 2 page business case and being like, all right, this makes a ton of sense. I want the buy-in because you translated everything in their language and brought it from champion to multiple internal stakeholders to final decision maker, and the deal gets signed, people get their commission checks, and everyone's happy.